how somebody just like suffocates a grown man, or like multiple times shoot people like who are unarmed, and then they can't, like they're human, like human beings. Nothing really triggers them watching that.
You're swimming.
It's me. And how long have you guys been together?
We met in Cap-Haitian, near where he grew up, like at a summer camp. I was kind of going back and forth to Haiti for a while, and then I stayed down there for about a year. We got married, so we've been married almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
Coming from Haiti, I guess there's racism everywhere, but like it's kind of like a whole different level. I'm to the point where I really don't understand. Like, I wish I could talk to somebody who's racist, who would be willing to explain to me, like, is it really the difference of our colors? Is it really that, like, in the 20th century, that somebody white would seriously think that somebody with dark color is inferior comparative to them? That doesn't even make any sense to me.
It's just so underlying that everything else stems from it, you know, and it's just become in parts of our country and parts of our history, it's just so like deeply embedded that's I think what's coming more to light now is that people are, it's just part of their nature, you know, and again, that's a generalization, because here where we live near Pittsburgh, like, racism is not as blatant. If anything, it would be more subtle.
It's something that's very, very new to me. Me personally, I've never really experienced any, not that I can think of, or maybe I have and I didn't understand it, or whatever. But my brother, he came to the States before I did. I think it was about a year ago. He flew up to here, and he was staying with a friend, and then I had to pick him up to bring him here. Basically, by the time for me to get there, it was taking me a long time. But like he was texting me like so worried, kind of like getting frustrated because I was taking so long. But like it was because he was so nervous being black, just standing somewhere with a bag waiting for me. He just didn't feel safe. It was kind of silly for me because I was like, what are you talking about? I probably sound or was kind of being ignorant maybe, but it was true. I didn't like, I don't think like that till recently with everything going on. Now I'm kind of like more aware and kind of like think about it and think about where I am and be more aware of my surrounding and stuff. I think he was by a supermarket or something, so in my mind I was like, how safer could you be? There's people everywhere, you know what I mean? It's not really true.
I've had a lot of conversations with our white friends about how being silent in this time is a privilege, and people have to understand that it, by not taking a stance, you are taking a stance. By being quiet, by being complacent, you're already speaking volume. So I think they're afraid of offending people, whereas we believe that it's our call as Christians to be sticking up for humanity, because the politics don't matter. At the end of the day, the politics will always be the reason people are divided, and the reason people could say, oh, but if you believe this, that means you believe that. Everything has to be polarizing. So because, like, it's just everybody assumes something about you because of speaking up for a vulnerable community that's been oppressed for so long, and it's just a shame.
Even on that same note about like people like not really talking about it, it just came out my mind, and it's kind of it's kind of funny, but so I just thought about how many people that I know who are, and I'm not trying to say anything about people's choice or anything, but like it's just the concept. Like, so there's so many people that are vegan, right? So there's so many people that are vegan, and a lot of them sacrifice eating like a lot of good food and stuff. their whole life for like so long just to send a message about animals, about like how they kill animals,
How they treat
killing
them.
too many animals, and all that silly stuff where
He's not biased.
the animals,
Right?
but people go out of their way to do like a lifelong protest for their lives. And then you watch a video of like how somebody just like suffocates a grown man, or like multiple times shoot people like who are unarmed, and then they can't, like they're human, like human beings. They don't think they need to say anything, or nothing really triggers them watching that. It doesn't get to the same level as the animals.
Yeah.
Like that's where I get frustrated and angry, because then on top of that, then I have to get out and run the streets trying to convince people that I'm human and my life matters. You know what I mean? Like, so growing up, I'd get so upset and cry. Like if something happened, for example, like we were kids, we're playing, something happened, and you call us over, you ask me what happened, or like did I do this or did I do that, and I obviously say I did it, and you kind of like pressure me to convince you that I didn't do something that I know I didn't do.
That you're innocent.
Like, yeah, that I'm innocent. It's weird that there's a group of human beings that are just sitting and hanging out, waiting for me to come out to like prove to them, or like convince them, or like talk them into understanding that I'm black, but I'm human. Why do I need to come out and tell you or convince you that I'm human? It doesn't make sense. It's an insult. That's one of the first time I really started to like get myself to be more aware, is when we went to a community meeting to fight racism. It was like mainly white people that were like so positively motivated to get this movement going on, so that people can come and either express their frustration, or just to listen to black men or women stories and understand and ask questions.
People are sharing their experiences and kind of encouraging each other how to talk to family members, how to be involved in their schools. And a couple of them have been working to change the like curriculum, getting rid of like To Kill a Mockingbird, like all these books that have like innate racist themes. I actually have a friend also who her brother started a petition to have the school start implementing a Black history course for all students to be required. Details, forgive me, but somehow there was a teacher who ended up saying something on social media that was racist, and the school immediately fired her after a lot of, and people found her phone number. It was a big news story. We didn't see it, but we heard about it. As soon as we moved back, somebody encouraged me and said, have you talked to your husband about what to do if he's pulled over? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't even, because I'm white, you know, I didn't even realize that I needed to have that conversation with him. But then I was like, you know what, I'd rather have a terrible conversation about what he should do if he's pulled over, and have that like that talk of like being prepared and being aware, than like something terrible happening and wishing we had had that conversation.
Moving forward, that's like something that I think everybody needs to have that talk. Like, especially if you're not racist yourself. Like, if you're not racist and you're not telling or educating your family or your kids that such behavior, like what they hear and what they see, is not normal and it's not acceptable, then then we'll just keep living and growing, doing the same thing, or maybe in our own way or in the same ways it's been going on.
End up first with her because she's gonna just cry the whole time. I'm looking forward to having some more conversations as she gets a little bit older with friends of mine who are biracial, to just ask them advice, ask them how they just grew in their confidence, because I know as a kid and as a teenager, you all, like, no matter who you are, you struggle with that, but I never want our kids to struggle with their race because of that. I want them to just be proud. I mean, their dad is very proud to be Haitian, so I want our kids to feel that way as well. I don't want them to feel like ever that they're less than anyone else. We have to have hope that changes are gonna happen no matter what, and that's what our part has to be in this. Encourage them to always be positive and be loving of other people and to be an example, you know. She's so cute.
Yeah. Say power to the people.
Mm-hmm.
My life matters.